Well, hi, this is Davin from Deep Six. I'm standing here on set just about 6 or 7 days before I start shooting with human beings. But I have a very special guest today who's been blowing my mind all morning, so I think I'm just going to take the rest of the day off from work and not prep and instead read these books. It's Rob Godwin, who I'd like to introduce you to. Rob, tell us about yourself. Why did you come to this set?
Well, because I heard you were making a scientifically accurate space TV series.
We are doing our best.
And I think that's laudable. That's why I'm here. And I brought some stuff to show you about 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I've been told by a number of people that I had to meet Rob, and you hear that a lot, but now I know why after having just chatted with him. It's blowing my mind, and the hair on the back of my neck has stood up a few times. So tell us a little bit about your involvement in 2001 and the books that we're going to take.
Well, my very good friend was Frederick Ordway, who was the scientific advisor to Stanley Kubrick on 2001. So he was actually the sort of liaison between the real world of space travel and the fantasy world of space travel that Kubrick was trying to create. And when it was all over with, most of the props and sets and models and drawings and everything were destroyed. A lot of that stuff was believed to be lost for many years, but as it turns out, Fred had literally been dumpster diving. And a gentleman called Adam Johnson, who's a friend of mine, he decided he was going to restore all this stuff, and then I was going to publish it. I've got pictures here of Fred with Arthur C. Clarke, who of course was the author of the movie 2001. And then a fellow called Harry Lang, who's also photographed here, was the conceptual artist on 2001. And Harry and Fred had worked for the Army all through the late 50s and early 60s working on the real deal. So when it came to conceiving this stuff for Kubrick, they had the chops.
Some of this I've seen, some of this I've never seen before. I love stuff like, I think this is the one. One of these was, this is the guy. It was meant to be like a missile launcher in space to kind of show like his vision of the future, which was a lot of political too.
Right, it's one of those things that Kubrick removed from the script, which was the exposition explaining that. These are some photographs of the actual models that they made.
Well, it's crazy, and you look at these and you look at like the detail, and it's weird because it's a mix of like hyper detail.
It's very similar to what you're doing here,
but
what you showed me this morning.
I can see just like some guy with a glue gun, like sticking things on the side.
And this idea of using these model kits to sort of stick bits and pieces on to create something realistic, that came out of the Jerry and Sylvia Anderson model shop, who did Thunderbirds and Fireball XL5 and so forth. And the great thing about the model shop at Borehamwood was that they had actual engineers, not just tradesmen. I mean, they were actual crafting engineers that were designing and building this stuff and inventing the techniques for doing it as they were going about it. You have the luxury today of being able to film digitally, whereas they were having to use 70mm film and then wait for it to be processed and come back and see whether they got the shot or not. Yeah.
If only they had Lego like I do. And that's it, Rob. On set with us here, Deep Six.
Watch the show.
Watch the show. Watch the show.